So I just came back from class, and I had one thing on my mind. What V3 characters would make good roommates? So this morning I saw a video by Dimitri ranking the SDR2 characters on how good of a roommate they would be. And I thought, this is awesome. Hold on. What if there was one for Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony? Because that's my golden goose. That's my brand. If y'all follow me on Twitter, that's my brand. Who's watching this shit? Shouldn't curse that early. Anyways, I have 1 hour to record this before I have to go to another class, so let's keep this brief. And I will say I did make a character ranking kind of thing. It wasn't a tier list. I was like drawing the characters based off how much I like them, and that was a Brazilian years ago, or like 6-7 months ago, and my opinions have changed a little bit. I've turned over a new leaf. I'm a new man, and I'm not gonna make it personal. I'm not gonna get personal into this. This video is actually to be pretty objective, so I'm looking at these characters on, what would they bring to the table as a roommate, okay? We're not gonna get too personal. We're not gonna get our feelings involved. At the end of the day, we're just looking for somebody to cover the other half of rent. So I already made my tier list. I thought about this, okay? So if you disagree with me, my thoughts are right, because I sat longer than you did and thought about this. But I have to reset this. So first on my list is Korekio. Now, Korekio is what I would like to call a phantom roommate, right? Those ones that you kind of forget there's somebody else in the house, apartment, whatever. And it's probably likewise that they forget I don't know about you. I'm a little bit of a phantom myself. That he would be a very low maintenance. Oops. That's my nose. I don't see me and Korekio getting into that many issues. He kind of does his thing. Maybe it might be a little scary to see him like in the hallway at like 3 a.m, like one of those what do they call it, cryptoids, whatever. But if you can get past that, he's a quiet dude, but I think he's polite, he's well spoken, he's well mannered, and I can't flag him on being a little quirky, right? Like, we're all a little quirky. Does his thing. He might collect little children's bones, but I'm not going in his room. He's not going in my room. So for that, Korekio, you are an A. You're gonna be an A rank. Next up is Maki. I think Maki's also a bit of a quiet one. Initially, we wouldn't hit it off initially. I think Maki would take a look at me and she would not like me. I'm a little loud. I say things. I'm a little blunt. I don't think Maki would rock with that. But I think she would come around. First of all, let's talk about Maki. I don't think Maki would cause too many disturbances. Like, she kind of just does her own thing. Just quiet, right? I think she's clean. I think she cleans up after herself. I think she, doesn't go around stomping at 6 a.m, right? I think she's considerate. As for my relationship with Maki, I think she wouldn't like me at first, but I think my charm and my humor would rub off on her, and she'd have her little tsundere moment, right? Like, she'd like come home from like dinner and be like, I had some leftovers, because the restaurant was totally shit, so I brought you some, because you like eating shit, poo poo caca. Yeah, it's in the fridge if you want it. I don't care if you eat it or not. And like, you open up the fridge and it's like a little tiramisu. Like she got that for you. Like, I think Maki would do a little tsundere. I'm not really into tsunderes, but for Maki, I could rock with it. You beggars can't be choosers, right? So I'm gonna put her as a B. Kaede. Now, I'm gonna say this. She's not an S. She's not an S. And let me tell you why. Kaede is not an S because I don't think she follows through very well. I think she's kind, and you feel like you can communicate with her. You're like, hey girl, like, I've been noticing, like, you've been leaving a lot of dishes. Like, I'm really busy with school and work, okay? And like sometimes I do them, but you know, can you like be more mindful of that? And she's like, oh yeah, sure, I got you, girl, I got you, don't you worry. And like she does it for one day, and then the next day it's all over again. Like, what the fuck are you eating? Why is there, when did we get a crock pot? Why I can't put anything in here because there's a fucking crock pot with a rotisserie chicken inside of the sink. What the hell am I supposed to do? And the piano thing, right? I don't know where the piano's gonna go. Worry about that later. I think her little piano sessions, her 72-hour visceral, unwashed, no sleep piano sessions might cause issues. I do some online classes, and I need a quiet room for when I do those, you know. And I could be like, oh hey Kaede, I got a class on like, you know, 3 until like 4:30. Just during those times, could you like tone it down a little bit? And you know, of course, she'd be like, oh yeah, I totally got you, no problem for me, right? But then, you know, what did I say? 2:50 hits around. You still hear that piano, and you come down and like, hey girl, I'm about to start class, and you know, she looks at you. She's like, huh? Oh, sorry, I'm almost done. I'm about to. Do you put away the piano? Put it away? I don't know. I'm almost done. And I'm like, okay, girl, I'm about to start. Okay, so, you know, and guess what? She wouldn't stop. She would do that the whole time, trying to bring a huzz over. Who's that? Is that Debussy? Like, I think it'd get under my skin a little bit, but it is Kaede. Who wouldn't want Kaede in their house? B. Kirumi. Now, some people... Okay, you would think that this is an automatic S. No. Kirumi would be too overbearing. I think we would get along at first. But very, very shortly, I would start to get a little overwhelmed with it, right? Like, I'm assuming, like, we're all young adults, and she's got her own job, running the country, or whatever the hell she does. But I think when she comes home, she'd bring her work with her, and she'd start, you know, trying to do my half of my duties, right? Like, maybe Kurumi would be a good roommate if you were like 7 years old, but if you're a young adult, I don't think you would want your roommate like doing your laundry and like dusting off your yaoi collections. I don't know. It's a little too much. And I think I'd have a hard time telling her to knock it off. Like, you know, like, hey, maybe not knock it off, but like, you know, hey, I know you want to be helpful, but just let me take care of my stuff. She wouldn't let that go. She'd be like, it's my duty to serve you. I'm a maid. That's all I know. I'm like, okay, well, open up a book, learn something new. It would piss me off. C. Actually, I'm gonna do Kibo next. Kibo. I don't have much to say about Kibo. I think he'd be fine. He'd probably also be a little quiet. But he wouldn't do all that much. Like, what does he do actually? He wouldn't like that. He would say that's not funny. But I think, you know, me, someone like Kibo, I think I can read and I can tone it down, you know. I know he doesn't like to fuck around that much, so I'll put away my fuckery away, you know. And I don't think we'd be that close, but I don't think he'll be a bad roommate. He's just kind of there, you know, charging. I don't know what he does. As long as he's paying rent, like, I don't have anything to say. Hey, Gonta. Now, some of y'all are not gonna like what I have to say about this, but F rank. Why? Dimitri was saying this about Nekomaru. How, like, you know, it's such a big guy. I think he doesn't understand the limits of his size, and because of that, size and strength, he's a liability issue. First of all, Gonta's like 6'9". Where are we living? In an apartment? How is he getting through the door? I can't imagine him fitting in a normal sized bed. I don't have to make special accommodations so he can sleep in the living room for his big ass body. And he forgets how strong he is. You know, he picks up a plate, breaks it, shatters in pieces, right? Like if I was that plate, I would do that too. I'd be scared. Maybe this is because I'm scared of Gonta. If you envision a real life Gonta, would you not be a little scared? And then second off, he's annoying. Sorry for saying it. Gonta, okay, this is sticking to me. If you do, that would be super annoying. So F. Anyways, Angie's next, and she's not gonna do too hot either. But not because I dislike Angie. Actually, Angie is my favorite V3 female. Angie would also be a liability hazard. I do not think she cleans up well after herself, and when she's in her little like schizophrenic art episodes, I don't think she's even there. Like, she has her little workroom, and then you open it up and there's like fucking Pop-Tarts on the ceiling. Like, that's a lot. And then second off, okay, the whole Atua thing, you know, maybe I might play along with it. Maybe I might roll with it. Maybe I'd actually believe in it. Honestly, I've been needing something to do. But the issue is with other people, you know, like I invite my family, like my family comes visit. And I gotta warn them, like, hey, if she starts doing the Atua thing, just nod and smile. Like, I don't want her to do that to everybody I interact with. It's a little too personal. D. And I love you, Angie, but that's a D. Mew. Now, FT was looking a little lonely. We're gonna add a beautiful shouty to that. Yo, I ran out of storage space on my phone, and the video just cut. But it's saved. Anyways, that means I gotta make this quicker. Mew. I like liability. Personality clashing. I like Mew, right? Don't get me wrong. I like Mew. Everybody likes Mew. Haha. But as a roommate, I'm not even gonna explain it. There's just too much going on. Too much. Anyways, Smoogie, I'm a little complicated about that. One part, I think Smoogie would be fine at first, and then once again, she'd start to get a little overbearing. Because I'm also a little bit of weeaboo, I think once Smoogie finds out that, I don't know, I know anything about anime, it's like the weird kid in class sees like a Dragon Ball pin on your backpack, and suddenly you just opened up Pandora's box, because now they want to tell you every one of their little waifus. Okay, I don't want to hear about it, right? It opens up an invitation for them. I think weebs don't have a very good sense of personal boundaries. Sumugi would also criticize my hobbies. Is that fair to say? Like, that would piss me off. You know, I dabble in a little cosplay. She'd take a look at the back of one of my wigs. So, like, I get criticism is important, but like, if it's a hobby, like, I'm not being paid to do this. I pay to do this thing. Don't get involved, okay? If I don't ask for help, I don't want your help. You made Shinji's hair too long. Does it look like I care? Did I ask? And she get personal with it too. She get too personal with it. C. Himiko. Personally, I think Himiko is unemployed. Like, what is she doing? No, I don't think she would have funds to pay rent. First of all, isn't that like the whole point of a roommate? You split the cost, right? It's not out of love. I'm not doing this out of love. Second off, I think Himiko is a little bit of a Himiko Kikomori. Isn't that funny? Like, I think she's messy. I think she's sloppy. And she just doesn't have a lot going on, so she spends all day in her room, and sometimes that room stench, it comes out. You read those Reddit stories? Oh my god, have you seen r/neckbeard nests? That's Himiko's room, and that's why I don't want to be involved. But I don't want to put her as F. I'm saving F category There's only one other person I would put in the F category, and we haven't gotten to that one yet. But I'll put Himiko in D. Himiko's in D. And next up, Ryoma. Now, I think Ryoma is also a little bit of a phantom roommate. You see him, and then you don't see him, and then you, oh, where's Ryoma? Anyways, first of all, what does Ryoma do? Is there anything Ryoma does that would cause conflict? Like, he's the ultimate prisoner. What does he do? Go to prison? Like, okay. As long as his half of rent's being paid. But let's say he goes on house arrest, okay? And he's looking for a roommate. I'm looking for a roommate. We meet at the right parking lot and work out a deal. I think Ryoma wouldn't cause too many issues. He's mature, he's responsible, he's a little doomer, but it's whatever. Because I like those phantom roommates, right? Like, you do your thing, I do my thing. I like that. So for that, Ryoma's gonna be put as an A. Next up is Kaito Momota, Illuminator of the Stars. I've had a change of heart with Kaito, actually. I used to not like Kaito. Sometimes I still kind of hate him, but my opinion's changed. Anyway, subjectively, Kaito would be a reliable person. He would be a good roommate. He would be a good friend. He'd be a good wingman. At first, I probably wouldn't like Kaito. I'd say Kaito. I think everybody like knows a guy like Kaito, right? And that's why people either love or hate him. I think I would come around, had a rough day at work. Kaito's like, had a rough day? Tell me about it. And I'm like, it's just, stuff. And be like, tell me about stuff, and we'd have like a one-to-one. He might stink a little bit. He might blow up the toilet. But as long as we got separate bathrooms, I think he would make a fine roommate. A. Yeah. For now, he's A. Rentaro. We don't have too much information on Rentaro either. He's a dude. I think he's responsible. He's mature. He's got some swag on him. I don't worry about him missing a payment. I do worry about Kaito missing a payment, actually. He's broke. Oh, astronauts make a lot of money. Okay. I can get into that's a whole nother thing I'm not going to get into right now. Rentaro, we don't know a lot about him, but I think he would make a fine roommate. And he's got sisters, so he knows a thing or two. Like, I know I might not be the best representation of a woman, but I'm a lady, okay? And I think Rentaro would be respectful. Rooming with another woman, that's another thing. Kaito might need to be moved down. No. I'm gonna be careful what I say because this is YouTube. I don't think Kaito would do something weird to me, but I don't know. Anyways, Rentaro, A. Yeah, A. Next up, I said there was gonna be one other character that would be an F-ranked roommate, and I think all of his little fans, like, can't argue with me. You ever see those videos of like houses just like combusting? I imagine that would be the whole complex after 24 hours. Because of that, Kokichi Oma will be in the F category. Like, who's gonna argue with me about that? Ooh, I'd like to see you argue about that. Tenko. I don't have much I have to say about her. She has a kind heart. Like, she's got her little gym bro habits, and I have my gym bro moments too. Like, I could actually probably rock with her a little bit more than other people do because I am also active. And we both have similar philosophies. I'm not gonna say that on YouTube because that could be considered hate speech, but we agree on things. We agree on our opinions about. And for that, Tenko's gonna be B. I didn't think she's outstanding, so I don't want to put her in A. Kaito's still sitting in A. I want to move him down. Okay, I think he'd be a good roommate, but not that good. And last but not least, the only reason we have an S category, you might be like, girl, there's a whole category you haven't even touched yet. Well, make room. Make some room right now. Because Shuichi Saihara, is an S-ranked roommate. I think this is the most ideal roommate, at least personally for me. Shuichi's quiet. He doesn't make too much noise. He doesn't cause too much, issues. I think he walks like a little mouse around the house. Oh, that rhymed. That's awesome. And he's considerate. I think he cleans up after himself. He might smell bad sometimes. He might have a little bit of a stink, right? People talk about depressed, stinky, unwashed Shuichi. If Shuichi stinks, like, I can put up with that. I can put up with that. I'm gonna be real. Ooh, I have one more point to bring up. Shuichi, never worry about rent, being paid on time. In fact, some months you might be like, oh, I can cover it. I got this. You know why? Shuichi's got daddy's money. Shuichi's a nepo baby. People don't talk about it enough. You look in his little free time events. My parents are famous actors and they live abroad. I know you got a penthouse in Tokyo. I know. You see his school in the little spoiler, in the pregame, like the little flashback memories from when he was in high school. Okay, if we're treating those as real, you see the chandelier in his school? Shuichi's got money. Third off, bias. I said I wasn't gonna get personal, but I'm gonna get personal right here. Shuichi Saihara, where Shuichi Saihara goes, that's where I go. If Shuichi wants to live in a little dinky apartment in the Bronx, I go to the Bronx with Shuichi. I get shot dead in the Bronx with Shuichi. Shuichi lives, I live. Where Shuichi goes, I go. Where Shuichi breathes, I breathe. That's my philosophy. Anyways, that's my tier ranking, and before this video hits 20 minutes, I gotta go to class. Bye.